welcome back to Wednesdays. We are so excited to have you with us in the room tonight, and welcome to Small Groups. This month, we're going to be talking about a series about worship, which is entitled Wonder. And so tonight, we're going to be starting that series. And worship is one of those words that churches use all the time. You've heard it probably your entire life. It's easy for us to nod our heads thinking we know what it means. But what is worship to you? There's so many different thoughts about worship and how you do it. Some people love to worship by singing songs to God. Others prefer writing poetry or even journaling. As you have all just heard, we can interpret worship in different ways. In fact, that can lead us to wonder, is there a best way to worship? Can I worship when I don't feel like it? Why is worship so hard to do sometimes? If we're honest, we don't always feel like worshiping God. And even when we want to, we face so many distractions around us. But that and the constant buzz of life, it can be tough to create space in our lives and set aside time to focus on God. So for the next few weeks, whether worship feels awkward for you or you already have your own habits of worship, we're going to explore the sense of wonder that God inspires within us. As we do, we'll see that worship isn't about singing the right songs or feeling the right emotions. It's about what happens when we give in to wonder. The book of Psalms is a collection of poems and songs that all speak to who God is. If we want to understand worship and why we do it, one of the best places to start is with Psalms. Some Psalms use creation and nature as a lens to talk about how different God is than all parts of the universe. In Psalm 24, verses 1 through 3, we read, simply put, that God is different from us because God created us. God created everything we see and interact with on a daily basis. It was God who set everything in motion long before we ever existed. In fact, it wasn't just people who couldn't measure up to God, it was all of creation. Psalm 8, 3 and 4 shows us that when we look at the world around us, we can see just how different God is. And what I mean by that is that think of all the incredible experiences you go through each day. God created all of this for our benefit. The writer of this psalm could see that. They knew the stories of God creating everything, but they also took the time to see it in the world around them. God's hand is in all of it. What does it look like to worship? Do we just sing some songs about God being different and call it a day? Do we write poems and our own songs like in the book of Psalms? Or is there something else we can do, a different way for us to worship? In 1 Peter 1, verses 13 through 16, we heard that when we experience how amazing and different God is, we can respond with worship. But that isn't just about reflecting on God's nature through praise and singing. We can also worship by reaching for holiness in everything we do in every aspect of our lives. It's really easy to read this passage and get a little bummed out. We might think about our lives and wonder if we're good enough or holy enough for God. But that's not the point. We aren't God and we won't ever be. We can worship by trying to be more like God each day. Sanctification. Worship is really two parts. You can share it in songs and poetry, maybe even coloring while you pray, and you can live it. Just like God is different, you can live in a way that is different. Thankfully, we don't have to figure this out alone because God has given us a blueprint to follow through Jesus and the Bible. The ending of this verse tells us God is holy or distinct from anything else. We're invited to try and live in a way that reflects that holiness in ways that are distinctly like God. So we can worship God by trying to live differently from the world around us. Remember, we worship because God is holy.